everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So we move on. ETC battle report are finished. This is my first version 3.0 battle report, and this was also my first version 3.0 test game on Warhall. So I decided to bring out my Ogre. I thought let's try to bring out something different from my ETC list, something more fun, just to explore a little bit what are the news of version 3.0. So this is not going to be the most tactical battle report. It's going to be quite fun. I played against a fellow YouTuber, it's Shizu from Team France, who just came back from Poland, from ETC Poland, with the third spot trophy. So he had a good summer and we played a game together. He played Highborn Elves. This was my list, so I played something. I wanted to try out 2 block in core, very expensive but should be strong on secondary objective. Then a third scoring unit, which is cheaper and flexible, can provide some counter charge. I have 4 characters, so the magical setup I wanted to try out Thaumaturgy, which feels for me the adept, probably the best combat support you can have in Ogre due to the double -1 to wound and agility 1, which are very good spells. So -1 to wound here and -1 to wound from hereditary. So basically the combination of these 3 spells could be enough for an Ogre magic phase for combat. So then it's about bringing something more if you want to, but a single mage could be playable in Ogre. Then I played the Fighty Great Khan BSB Ginget, who was just here to bring some buff and some additional combat. But as you can see, those 3 characters are quite naked. They have no defensive stuff, so that could be potentially a problem. And then I played 2 Keen Eater with Ambush, Yetis as a kind of a fast cav, and Rock as a piece to add some threat on the table. Shizu, from the top of my head, that was what he was playing. So he has the High Prince on Griffin, a mage on Eagle with a 3-up ward save, who has a crush stack, who has an adept pyro. Then he has the Master Connect Tower BSB, a big block of spear with the Navigator banner, which gives him a 5-up ward save in the first turn of combat, which is quite strong. Then he has the unit of Seaguard, he has a unit of Reaver, Alien Reaver as a Chaff Feast, 2 Frost Fennec with a Warden Bond. I think here, just to mention, in my opinion at the moment, the best units in the books are the units that have the combination of Light Troop and Fearless, because the combination of these 2 rules make you move like in version 2.0. Basically, like Frost Phoenix can march, he has 16 now, so he can march 16 without any restriction, special maneuver to do. And Fearless, which basically ensures that he doesn't take panic check from wounds that he takes, because as you might know, in version 3, if you take wounds on like a giant, for example, you take 2 wounds on a giant, you have to take panic check, which is very shaky because it's like 8 non-rollable, and basically if you fail that, you are shaken, and then you have a chance to rally, and if you don't, you flee. So yeah, it's a huge issue for single model. And the one that have, or the unit also that have Fearless and Light Troop, basically they have high mobility and they are immune to these tricks, so these problems. So I think this is at the moment the type of unit that you might want to find in the books that you are playing, because they are very strong and they still ensure good lateral movement, which is not the case anymore. If you take a big monster like a Rock, it struggles to move. It really struggles to move laterally. You can only do like the half movement, lateral movement. It's not great. You cannot really try to go out of line of sight and stuff like that. That's finished for this kind of monster. It's really harder to maneuver. You have like the march move, but with a single wheel, and then the readjustment wheel. But this doesn't allow you to do like 14 on the side, basically. We have then 2 times 10 Flame Warden with they have a ward save, they are cheap scoring, quite interesting, and then 2 Seaguard Reaper. We played all the center on the map. I think number 1 you have left and right the spell selection. So version 3.0 was also an occasion for me to improve a little bit my display. I don't put any more slide with written point about the matchup analysis. I will try to talk more in this slide and the slide before with the list, what do I think about the matchup, because I think this brings more. So we have here the table, and as you can see, we have 2 lakes, we have a forest, a hill, a wall here, and a ruin here. Basically, yeah, I think the Death Star should be strong in the matchup, obviously. He should struggle in 1-on-1 fight. For me, it will be about not allowing him to find my flank. I need to be careful about the chaff, how he might chaff my Death Star. And we are playing all the ground. So the problem is, as long as we stay in a standoff, basically it can be within 12 of the middle point and chaff my Death Star and have his block basically waiting for me. And he can still contest the middle. So I'm not going to score the middle, the old ground, as long as the unit is within 12. So that's going to be a problem for me to deal with, obviously. And then he has very good range damage, which is very dangerous for me. And obviously with a cornerstone, it's another issue for me, I would say. Cornerstone deployment says that you draw a line in the middle of the deployment zone, and then within 6 from it, you have to put your most expensive unit, in my case the bruisers. And then you have to deploy something right, something left, something right, something left, and so on. Not great for me, because this will force me to be quite in the center, and then to defend the flank. The Phoenix that could push the flank could be obviously an issue for me, because I will be in a shape that we don't like, which is basically like that, to defend the flank and to push in the center. So this is what I'm expecting in the game, but there is not much I can do against it. I don't remember about his secondary objective. My secondary objective was to kill his Griffin deployment. So I don't remember. I think I won the roll for side, and I took bottom due to the wall. Then I would say he let me start to deploy to see what I would do. I made a first mistake. I didn't know that the lake would basically on metal armor cause DTs, and therefore my bruisers are kind of annoyed by this lake. And also, since I have a wall here to protect my unit against shooting, I should have put the bruisers, because I have less wound in the bruiser unit. So as I said, within 6 of the middle, I could have placed my bruiser right here on the right to go for the wall and be protected a little bit from his shooting. This would have allowed then my other unit, which is not metal armor, so the big brick, to be a little more here to the left, and then to push here more freely. So I think that would have been better to switch the 2 units. And then I went, I think quite logical, left we have the Tusker, and right we have the Rock to protect my flank, and the Yeti somewhere in the middle. So not a lot of unit on my list, as you can see. He deployed, as we expect, 1 Phoenix on each side to go wide, so that was something I expected. Then the Griffin will use the hill. We have a small unit here of flame, second unit of flame, bolter a little bit in the flank. Here, obviously trying to get some flank shot here as soon as I push. Then we have here the spear that are going to try to be within 12 here and maintain the standoff, and close to them we have the Sea Guard with the BSB, and the mage is here in the back. Let's move on. He won the roll for side. I think I dropped for first turn at some point, I would say, and I only got +1, and he rolled better than me and he started the game, which is not a good news because I cannot take the wall. So his turn 1, he moved those guys out of the line of sight, which obviously I don't care that much, because they are not chaffing me at the moment, so it's not that bad. Phoenix start to move on the side here on the left, and here a bit forward, but he hasn't so good line of sight due to the hill, blocking his line of sight. He moved the Griffin also aggressively to create situation, so I think he identified here this spot, which is a spot to attack for him, where he could potentially enter, and that would be annoying for me. In the magic phase he gets I dispel molten copper on the Tuskers, and then he failed the big blast pyroclastic flow on the Yetis, which was good news for me, and he got reroll to wound on the Sea Guard. He shoot everything at the bruisers that are completely exposed, and he managed to do 6 wounds on them, so already 2 dead. They already are struggling, and as I told you with the lake, that's a huge issue. Also an issue for the Tusker actually, because if they touch the lake, they will take 12 DTs. So yeah, not great. Not great. The lake, also the lake on the right. Potentially he could do a move. He told me like, put the Phoenix here forward, and as long as I am in the lake, I have no impact hits. So that this kind of stuff is surprising. You have no impact hit, no stomps. So something like a rock could be deactivated by like a unit. Maybe a Phoenix is obviously not enough, but something a bit bigger could actually face a charge from a rock due to the lake. So definitely here the two lakes are very bad news for my unit, because they are denying me potential impact and causing DTs on my metal armor unit, which is not so good. So yeah, I'm struggling early on. We will see how that goes, but getting surprised by a couple of things, I think it's normal. Let's move on to my turn 1. So yeah, I elected to push. I just said, okay, I made multiple mistakes. I'm in a bad shape, but at least to basically, if I stay back, is going to continue to hurt my unit on the side with his shooting, take them down, and at some point try to infiltrate the Phoenix. As soon as he kills something on the side, he can push with the Phoenix, get into a nice situation, and in the meantime he stays within 12 with his spears. He denies me the secondary objective, and I'm going to lose, and at some point he's going to get a juicy combo charge with everything on my Death Star, and I'm going to get beaten. So I just said, okay, let's try something. Basically, I go out of line of sight of everybody here on the right. I push toward the spear, they can charge me, I'm not afraid of that. And basically I tell him, if you don't feed me chaff right now, I'm going to charge and kill the spears. So that's the idea. A rock cover the angle to avoid the Griffin going out of line of sight. The same here with the Deities to avoid the Phoenix going out of line of sight. And the same here with the Tuskers. I think, to be honest, since I push with the main unit here, I could have also potentially get the Bruiser a bit more here, forward, slightly more to the right to avoid a little bit the lake. Now was the time where I realized that it was a problem with the lake. But I think, yeah, getting the Bruiser a bit closer with better line of sight, and maybe the Tusker a bit higher, I would say somewhere like here, to tell him, okay, it's a front and it's a front. I don't care if you go out of line of sight here, because the game is now, I want to push here. So getting the Tusker with line of sight, with potential charges, or at least push opportunities for the next round. Because as you can see now, I'm a bit below, the rock is behind, the Tusker are behind, and this is a moment where I push. So I felt maybe I could have tried something different. We can also debate about the rock. I don't know about the line of sight, but potentially, where did I start? I started here. I don't know if it was possible, but we can even discuss if the rock with a march of 14 could have potentially maybe get a position, I don't know, with a wheel, and then looking this way to a front and accept the charge from Phoenix and Flame Warden potentially. I mean, that was maybe something I could have accepted as well, to be basically with a strong battle line pushing and not only the Death Stars. That's something we can discuss. Sorry, it's a bit messy with the drawing. In the magic phase, I got -1 to wound on my Death Star. He's turn 2, he chaffs my big unit. He moves forward with multiple shooting, and he brings back the Phoenix here. I think this move is very sensible, because it doesn't, the battle will be in the middle, so he brings a lot of units. He brings also the Griffin here. Again, my rock out of position, my Tusker out of position. So I think that's what I mentioned before. That's the problem when you push only with one unit. There is a single point of pressure which he can deal with. He put the fast cav here in my back at the moment to try to be annoying and prepare a potential combo charge. In the magic phase, he got Flaming Sword on the Sea God, he got Fireball on the Yetis, he killed like 3 more bruisers which are completely exposed. That's what I was telling you with the wall. Huge problem for the bruiser, obviously. So he killed some bruiser, and now I realize that the bruiser cannot charge anymore. Basically, I have 4 bruiser left. If I charge through, I take DTs. The Sea Guards strike before me, I will die. So there is no charge that the bruiser can take. So they are basically dead right now, and they can't achieve anything else in the game. So that's already an issue. My turn 2, I'm going to charge in the Phoenix no matter what. Checking that I can reform. put everybody here on the right in my front. And basically I'm in a situation where, okay, he's going to be able to multi-charge me. I chaff the guy in the back to avoid the back charge, and I place multiple combo counter charge. So basically it's going to be like a coin flip, like I'm going to kill you Phoenix, and then if you try to come in, I have King Eater ready to counter charge, and I have Rock ready to counter charge. So basically we will see how that goes. It's really down to if I'm able to stick or not. It's a coin flip, and we should know the fate of the game at the end of turn 3. I prepare also here 2 potential counter charge, so ready to counter charge as well. So basically if he come in the combat, he need to break me. If he doesn't, then he is going to be in huge trouble. It's also going to be down to the magic phase. I'm hoping to get 2 buffs off. I have agility 1, -1 to wound, -1 to wound, I think that's about it. What did I got in shamanism? I think that's it, and I also a blast, but yeah, that's it. In the magic phase, I got only hereditary. He dispelled the other -1 to wound, and with my attack I kill the Phoenix. He's going to fail his rebirth, which is huge because on a 3+, he could have chaffed me again. So obviously giving him even more time to bring more strengths. So I think that was his original game plan, but since he failed the rebirth, he decided to go in. So he sent me everybody in. Will it be too much? Will I be able to hold? That's going to be the question. So the mage goes to the flank. The Griffin in the face. The Flame Warden makes it as well. The Sea Guard makes it as well. So that's a lot. It's 4 charges against the Death Star. Who is going to be able to win? I told you it's going to be a fun game. Magic phase. I dispel reroll to wound. I dispel Flaming Sword, and he got Miladis, which was quite important on 3 dice. It's going to save him some precious wounds to help him trying to break me. Close combat. What is going to happen? With the 3 tribesmen in the flank, I'm going to kill the mage. So that's going to be huge. It's going to fail 3, ward save 3+, and I kill the mage. So that's huge. He failed his crush attack, so not great. The Griffin fluff a little bit against my BSB. Doesn't kill him. I'm still alive. I strike at my mage, but I survive with everybody. I'm able to strike back. I don't do that much because he has a 5-up ward save on the spear, a 4-up ward save on the Flame Warden. I remember losing a bit, and then I had the stomp, and I managed to do nothing on the stomp. I had D3+1 from the BSB roll to wound, and another 3 stomps roll to wound. But I managed to do not that much, but at the end I think we both fluff a bit, and especially I was lucky to the flank. Killing the eagle is huge, and I lost by 4. So it's a 5 rollable, and I stick. And then boom, everything goes in. So King Eater in the flank, Rock goes in. Here I charge, I have an overrun on 8. He wouldn't be able to see me. Obviously take some DTs, but still that would be enough. I move the Yetis here to the flank. The King Eater charge in because he only wounds me on the 6-up. And then I think it's the end of the game because basically everything in the center is going to break. So yeah, I was very lucky to stick. As you see, he didn't do much actually. He killed like an ogre and did wounds, 2 wounds on the BSB, 3 wounds on the mage, and did like 5 wounds to the unit. So not that much actually, his output. But I didn't do that much as well, so it was like a bit of a pillow fight, and definitely I was very lucky on the mage. And yeah, like magic phase turned normal, we both got a buff. So definitely Milady saved him like 4 wounds, which was great. But myself only getting -1 to wound was not that good. But in the end, yeah, I could have broke. And here, we just stopped here because we knew that it was going to be a win for the Ogre Khan. So yeah, definitely a fun game. Really a coin flip, like, let's go in the middle, we'll see what happened. And this time I was lucky enough to win the 50-50. Deployment, yeah, not ideal. I think with the cornerstone, it was definitely not ideal to have to defend the 2 flanks with so much mobility. Definitely he had the Phoenix that can move so good. I mean, they have also discipline, the rebirth on the 3+. They are very, very good. So it was hard to defend both flank. I had the shape that I didn't like with a strong unit in the middle. Yeah, his strategy I think could have been to chaff me even more. He could have tried not to charge. He also wanted to see. I think the Phoenix not popping like encouraged him to try to charge, and he could have gone through. But I think yeah, the game plan was pretty clear here in the matchup. I think what you should expect is just the Death Star get shaft, he shoot at the Bruiser, kills them. Like you see, I mean 2 rounds, then I couldn't charge anymore. So next round he can start to shoot at the Tusker, and I mean those 2 units will be down. And then it's about zoning the Rock and chaffing the Death Star, and that's it. And in the meantime, he prepares for a huge combo charge late in the game. So I think this is a complicated matchup for the Ogre Khan here. I was lucky enough to come out on top. Highborn Elf shooting and mobility impressed me and was very effective. I think also I didn't talk about everything in detail, but like the bolt thrower were able to get at some point flank shot, which is huge, like 6 shot with +1 to wound is really strong. So I felt that was very impressive. Yeah, the dicey combat. The Death Star, I think a Death Star in the version 3.0 will be in trouble against flank and rear charges. That's definitely an issue that you might have. Basically, yeah, if you are stuck, if you are multi-charged like I was, I mean, if he would have sent the fast cav in the back, I would have broke. So that's definitely so what can happen. So a lot of units, mobile unit that charge you in the flank can cause problems. And also, yeah, he was able at some points also to get the mage not to move, to get the +1 to wound on the big blast from Pyro. So stuff like that can cause problems. So I think Death Star are still good, but basically you can get in trouble because you will have less unit on the table than your opponent, and he might be able to get a juicy combo charge, and the flank and the rear are very painful in version 3. Yeah, in my Death Star, I think it was not an optimal list at all, but definitely my BSB and mages were not protected enough. And metal armor, I think something to remember, the Tusker, I think Stalker standard could be really nice on them, but definitely here the water was huge trouble for me between the impact hit and the DTs. It might be very problematic for some Ogre Khan list, so it was interesting to see. Okay guys, that's all for this battle report. So definitely something completely different from the previous battle report, which was very tactical, last game of ETC, completely different. Here it was just more about the fun and getting to know the rules, so I think it was a fun battle report to start with version 3.0, and I will have more to come. Talk to you soon on the channel. Goodbye.